The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, state-owned enterprises are on the path to profitability after subsidies were quelled. The State Minister of Finance estimates profitability at over 400 billion rupees. Tourism zones are mapped to ensure targeted development as the government moves towards an overhaul of the nation's tourism industry. Stocks are once again in the green with capital goods driving up the turnover, however fails to surpass yesterday's rates. The Microsoft pledges to invest more than $1.7 billion in Indonesia, which includes data farms.
From Studio 24, here's Sina Mayadune.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. State Finance Minister Shehan Singha announced that Sri Lanka's major state-owned enterprises have recovered from their losses in 2022 and turned a profit in 2023. This turnaround followed the government's necessity to eliminate all energy subsidies as part of an agreement with the International Monetary Fund.
Singha said that their SOEs will report a profit of 456 billion rupees in 2023. The same state-owned enterprises posted a loss of 743 billion rupees in 2022. Such losses in the past have led the government to borrow more before an unprecedented economic crisis in 2022. The minister stated that this profit was recorded because cost-based prices are set at institutions such as the Ceylon Electricity Board and the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. The nation is in the process of implementing comprehensive reforms in SOEs, including selling some key firms and privatizing them and reducing a bloated state sector. However, so far none of these reforms has been implemented.
The State Tourism Minister Derana said that Sri Lanka is in the process to designate 49 additional official tourism zones, and the new areas will be published in a gazette within a month as part of the ongoing efforts to boost tourism.
The minister told in a media briefing in Colombo that they have identified 49 additional tourist destinations for the advancement of the country's tourism industry. She also added that these sites will be designated as tourism zones and will be officially published in the Gazette within a month, and through this initiative, they aim to bolster the tourist arrival into the country and promote its diverse attractions. Sri Lanka has already identified 15 tourism zones, but all are located in the coastal area around the island. The new tourism zones are expected to include most non-coastal areas where tourists prefer to visit due to the nature of the locations.
The data from the State Debt Office showed that Sri Lanka has sold 99.7 billion rupees in 2028, 2030 and 2032 bonds. The Debt Office offered 25 billion rupees on 15th March 2028 at an average yield of 11.72%. All offered 30 billion rupees of 15th May 2023 bonds were sold at 12.38%. 44.74 billion rupees of the 1st October 2032 bonds were sold at 12.47% after offering 45 billion rupees. Let's go for a short commercial break and the latest updates from the Colombo Stock Exchange coming right away. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Let's take you now to the Colombo Stock Exchange. It's another positive day at the bourse, with both stock exchange indices ending in much positive territory but failing to gain yesterday's rates. The all-share price index grew by about 0.5%, while the S&P SL20 gained about 0.10%. Let's break down the market data for you, and for that let's go to Nishara Pereira from Capital Alliance Securities, who's standing by.
The bourse continued its upward trend for the fifth consecutive session, closing at 12,362 points, marking a 52-point increase from the previous session. Total turnover amounted to 3.8 billion rupees, and the SL20 index rose to 3,689 points, reflecting enhanced institutional involvement, particularly in blue-chip counters. Notable turnover was observed in JKH, LIOC and RCL, while retail interest was notable in consumer and construction sectors. Top contributors to ASPI were Central Finance, Lion Beverages, Brown's Investments, Ceylon Tobacco and John Keel's Holdings. Top gainers for the day were Nation Lanka Finance, Blue Diamonds, SMB Leasing, Tess Agro and Alpha Fire Services. Foreign buying stood at 108 million rupees with significant activity observed in Commercial Bank, ACL Cables and Sunshine Holdings. Conversely, foreign sales amounted to 518 million rupees.
We've recently observed a decrease in bond rates, and what implications might this have on the equity market? We pose that matter to Diluk Shadimel from Capital Alliance Securities.
With the government security yields declining since the start of 2024, we do anticipate that there will be a capital flow from government securities into the equity market. While the decline that we saw from the start of the year has had an impact on the market overall since the 1st of March, we do anticipate that with the market yields going below 10% at the auction held today, that a benefit would be seen and the capital flow would continue into the equity market over the next few weeks as well.
Gold prices fell in Asian trade today, remaining pinned well below recent peaks as fears of higher for longer U.S. interest rates grew before a Federal Reserve meeting this week. Waning safe haven demand also weighed, especially as recent reports showed renewed ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas. This left gold even more vulnerable to rate-driven risks. Spot gold fell 0.4% to $2,326.45 an ounce, while gold futures expiring in June fell 0.9% to $2,337.30 an ounce. Spot prices were trading more than $100 below a record high hit earlier in April. But despite recent declines, gold prices were still trading up over 4% for April, extending stellar gains seen in March. Meanwhile, oil prices also fell slightly in Asian trade today, extending declines from the prior session as focus remained on any progress in ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas. Growing expectations of higher for longer U.S. interest rates before a Federal Reserve meeting this week also weighed on sentiment. Brent oil futures expiring in June fell by 0.1% to $88.29 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 0.2% to $82.48 a barrel. Brent was set for a 1.7% gain in April, its fourth straight month in black, while WTI prices were set to lose 0.8% in April. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated against the US dollar today compared to Monday. Accordingly, the buying rate of the US dollar has increased from 291 rupees and 52 cents to 293 rupees and 44 cents, while the selling rate has increased from 300 rupees and 95 cents to 302 rupees and 76 cents. The rupee has also depreciated against several other currencies during the day today. A short commercial break now. When we are back, we will have a look at the corporate world. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted the dedication of the government to strengthening the country's economy through agricultural advancements, particularly focusing on reviving cinnamon cultivation, a key export crop. Speaking at the launch of the Dilma cinnamon brand at the Gold Face Hotel in Colombo, he reiterated the commitment to agricultural modernization and economic progress.
The Dilmah brand, renowned for elevating Ceylon tea in the global market, has ventured into the Sri Lankan cinnamon industry by expanding its domestic exports through the company, introducing high-quality cinnamon products to the global market. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, alongside the President of the World Association of Chefs Society, Master Chef Thomas Gugler, symbolically unveiled Dilmah cinnamon products. Expressing appreciation for resurrecting of Ceylon's cinnamon, akin to Dilmah's success with Ceylon tea, the President expressed confidence that this initiative would mark the inception of a new era in the country's economy.
Swisstech Aluminium has been recognized for its exemplary management practices, receiving the Merit Award for the third consecutive year at the Best Management Practices Company Awards 2024. Hosted annually by CPM Sri Lanka, these awards honor organizations, both public and private, that exhibit exceptional leadership, growth, and success through their management strategies and practices. Swisstech Aluminium, a leading player in Sri Lanka's aluminium extrusions industry since its establishment in 2029, stands as a subsidiary of Sri Lanka's World Tiles plc under the esteemed Valuable One plc. Lanka Exhibition and Conferences Services announced the return of Sri Lanka's Construction Power and Energy Expo 2024. The exhibition is scheduled to be held from 5th of July to the 7th at BMCH Colombo.
Construction Power and Energy Expo is Sri Lanka's most focused construction, interior products, power and energy related exhibition. The press conference of the event and the pre-event briefing happened yesterday at Taj Samudra Hotel Colombo. This exhibition is held annually for the 9th successive year at BMICH with the participation of all leading stakeholders and key service providers within the building, housing, interior and power energy sectors. The Construction Power and Energy Expo 2024 will serve as the hub for all major players, both locally and internationally, in the construction industry.
Singer, the exclusive distributor for Sony Electronics in Sri Lanka, was honored as a strategic alliance partner at Sony's recently held annual business partner conference in Singapore. This recognition underscored the robust partnership between the two entities and highlights Singer's dedication to bringing cutting-edge Sony technology to Sri Lankan consumers. Group CEO of Singer Sri Lanka plc, Mahesh Vijayawardena, who accepted the award at the event in Singapore, said that they are honoured by this recognition from Sony, which is a testament to their dedication to delivering exceptional value to Sri Lankan consumers. First Capital Holdings plc, a member of the Janashakti Group, announces the appointment of Kuda Banda Herath as an independent non-executive director to the company's board of directors, effective from the 29th of April 2024. He currently serves as an independent non-executive director of Central Finance Company plc since February 16, 2019. With a career spanning over 28 years in the fast-moving consumer goods industry in Sri Lanka, he held pivotal roles in manufacturing, sales, marketing, and global business excellence projects. We're going in for a short break and more news on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian markets saw a mixed day of trading today as investors navigated between positive cues from Wall Street and cautious sentiments surrounding China's factory activity. Traders were also monitoring the yen amid unconfirmed reports that authorities in Japan had intervened in the currency after it touched the 160 level against the dollar on Monday. In Japan, both the Nikkei 225 and the Topix index posted gains, rising by 1.24% to 38,405.66 and by 2.11% to 2,743.17 respectively. However, China's markets showed signs of weakness, with the Shanghai Composite down by 0.26% at 3,104.82 and the Shenzhen component slipping 0.9% to 9,587.12. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index managed to eke out of a slight gain of 0.09% to 17,763.03, buoyed by notable increases in electronic stocks. South Korea's Kospi Index, meanwhile, experienced modest growth of 0.17% to 2,692.06. On Monday, U.S. stocks closed higher, driven by significant increases in Tesla and Apple shares, as investors awaited the Federal Reserve's comments on the future of interest rates following its policy meeting this week.
U.S. stocks finished higher on Monday, with sharp gains for Tesla and Apple leading the way, as investors awaited the Federal Reserve's policy meeting later this week and its outlook for interest rates. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ ended the session up between 3 and 0.4% each. Tesla shares soared 15% after the electric vehicle maker made progress in securing regulatory approval to launch its advanced driver assistance program in China, its second largest market after the U.S. Shares of Apple climbed 2.5%. After Bernstein upgraded the stock to outperform, and a report said the iPhone maker had renewed discussions with OpenAI about using the startup's generative artificial intelligence technology. Meanwhile, the Fed is expected to hold rates steady following its meeting Wednesday. FBB Capital Partners senior portfolio manager Mel Casey said he will be paying close attention to what the central bank has to say about the economy, and then will turn his attention to the jobs report out Friday.
If you look at the jobs report at the end of the week, probably not anything huge we're expecting out of that in terms of the lead to any action, but we don't want to see it either super hot or super cold. So we're looking for kind of a Goldilocks, just right jobs report where we're continuing to add jobs, but not at a level that overheats the economy, or not that we're losing jobs at the point that we're hurtling towards a recession.
Other stocks on the move included Domino's Pizza, which added nearly 6% after it topped quarterly profit and sales estimates. And shares of crypto-related stocks sank, with Coinbase Global and crypto miners Riot Platforms and Marathon Digital all falling more than 7% as the price of Bitcoin fell.
Elon Musk pushed for China's approval for Tesla to roll out advanced driver assistance systems in a whirlwind trip to Beijing, sending the company's shares soaring more than 16% yesterday.
Tesla has successfully cleared some key hurdles that have long stopped it from rolling out its self-driving cars in China after a surprise visit there from CEO Elon Musk. Musk wants to roll out the full self-driving software in China, the company's second largest market. The feature is already available in the US. Musk's visit to China was not flagged publicly, and a source spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak with the media. Also on Sunday, China's Auto Association said Tesla's Model 3 and Y cars are compliant with China's data security requirements. Those standards were some of the key reasons that full self-driving wasn't yet in the country. A source also said that Musk is also looking to obtain approval to transfer data collected in the country abroad to train algorithms for its autonomous driving technologies. Since 2021, China has required that all data be kept there. Industry experts say China's complicated traffic conditions, with more pedestrians and cyclists than in many other markets, provide more scenarios that are key for training autonomous driving algorithms at a faster pace.
Microsoft Chief Executive Satya Nadella said today that Microsoft will invest $1.7 billion over the next 4 years into expanding cloud services and artificial intelligence in Indonesia, including building data centers.
Nadella said that the investment will bring the latest and the greatest AI infrastructure to Indonesia. He said this in a keynote speech in Jakarta after having met outgoing President Joko Widodo and cabinet ministers to discuss joint AI research and talent development. Nadella added that Microsoft will train 2.5 million people in Southeast Asia in AI use by 2025. Jakarta is Nadella's first stop on a trip to Southeast Asian countries aimed at promoting the US company's generative AI technology. He will go to Malaysia and Thailand later this week.
Well, that'll do from all of us at the Nightly Business Report. We appreciate your company. As tomorrow is a public and mercantile holiday, we will not be on air, but we'll surely be back on Thursday with the very latest business news. I'm Sina Mayadane. Good night.